Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into the life of a figure many of us think we know, George Washington Carver.
Right. But his true story, well, it's far richer, much more surprising than that single popular idea most people have.
Exactly. So our mission today is really to cut through those common myths, and reveal the multifaceted genius of Carver.
From his agricultural innovations, which were truly groundbreaking, to his pretty profound personal philosophy.
And we're drawing directly from the source material you've provided. Our goal is to offer you a kind of shortcut, really, to being truly well-informed about his incredible life and contributions.
It's quite a journey we're about to embark on. So where should we start? His beginnings.
Yeah, let's start there. His origins are incredibly challenging and, frankly, quite poignant. George Washington Carver was born into slavery in Diamond, Missouri, around 1864, so right near the end of the Civil War.
Yeah.
And tragically, his mother was kidnapped by raiders, just vanished, never found.
It's hard to imagine. And he and his brother were rescued, weren't they, by Moses and Susan Carver, the white couple who had enslaved their family.
Yes. So thinking about that difficult beginning, that absolute vulnerability, how do you think that most profoundly shaped the man he became?
Well, that's a crucial point. What's really fascinating, I think, is how his early circumstances, especially his physical frailty, he was often ill as a child, it paradoxically led him down a completely different path.
How so?
Well, he wasn't really suited for the harsh, demanding farm labor that was typical then.
Right.
So instead, it seems like it redirected his energy. He developed this deep, almost innate curiosity about nature. Spent his youth exploring the woods, watching plants grow, really understanding agriculture from the ground up.
So learning by doing, by observing before formal school.
Exactly. A foundation laid not through, classrooms initially, but through direct observation.
And his pursuit of that formal knowledge, as we know from the sources, was anything but easy.
Oh, definitely not.
Imagine the dedication. I mean, literally walking miles just to attend a school for African-American children. Segregation, of course.
And working odd jobs in Kansas just to attend high school later on.
Yeah.
Supporting himself entirely.
And then that stark reminder of the era's discrimination, being initially denied admission to Highland University purely because he was Black.
Yeah. How did he keep going? That kind of relentless perseverance against such continuous barriers.
It really speaks to an incredible inner drive, doesn't it?
Absolutely unwavering. He was eventually accepted at Simpson College in Iowa.
Sure.
And, what many people don't realize is he initially studied art and piano there. He was quite talented.
Art and piano, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But then came this pivotal moment when a teacher saw his deeper scientific inclination and really encouraged him to pursue science and agriculture instead.
Ah, okay.
So that led him to transfer to Iowa State Agricultural College, now Iowa State University.
Yeah.
And there, he actually made history as the first African-American student.
The very first. Wow.
And he truly excelled. Earned his bachelor's in agricultural science in 1894, then a master's in 96. He quickly built this reputation as a brilliant botanist, a serious researcher. He was just determined to learn, no matter the obstacle.
Okay, so here's where his life takes that major, almost legendary turn, 1896.
Right.
Booker T. Washington invites him to head the agricultural department at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. That's a huge moment.
It is a turning point.
But what exactly was so, revolutionary about his agricultural work at Tuskegee? Was it just about finding new crops or?
It was far more than just finding new crops. He fundamentally reshaped farming practices. His big thing was championing crop rotation.
Crop rotation. Explain that a bit.
Okay, so he specifically promoted nitrogen-fixing crops. Things like peanuts, sweet potatoes, various legumes. You have to picture the South at this time.
Yeah.
The soil was just wrecked, severely depleted from generations of growing only cotton over and over.
Okay, I see.
So Carver provided a natural, sustainable way to basically heal the land, restore those vital nutrients without needing expensive artificial fertilizers.
Yeah.
It was about teaching farmers to work with the land, not just take from it.
Working with it. And speaking of peanuts, we have to address the peanut in the room.
The big one.
The most common misconception. George Washington Carver invented peanut butter. Let's just be crystal clear for everyone listening.
He did not invent peanut butter, full stop.
Right. But what he did do, which is arguably much more impactful, over 300 products from peanuts.
300. It's staggering.
I mean, who looks at a humble peanut and thinks, yeah, gasoline or plastic or paint? That's just an incredible leap of imagination, especially back then.
Exactly. Imagine the audacious vision it took, early 20th century, to see a simple legume as raw material for everything from industrial dyes to early plastics.
It's like alchemy.
Kinda chemical alchemy that not only created new markets but fundamentally challenged the whole idea of agricultural waste.
That's a great point. Waste.
Yeah, this wasn't just innovation. It was a radical redefinition of natural resources
Hmm.
and, crucially, a direct pathway to economic empowerment for struggling farmers.
And his ingenuity wasn't just peanuts, right?
No, not at all. He created more than 100 products from sweet potatoes, too,
Hmm.
showcasing their versatility.
Wow.
And he explored uses for pecans, soybeans, constantly seeking ways to make these crops more valuable, more useful.
So his work really went beyond just the lab, beyond product development. He was also a pioneer in sustainable farming.
Absolutely. He taught impoverished farmers these incredibly simple, natural, inexpensive methods to improve their yields.
So not about complex machinery.
No, not primarily. It was about working with nature, using what was available. He tirelessly stressed self-sufficiency, environmental stewardship, and really crucially, reducing that dependence on just one crop, like cotton, which was often destructive.
And he made sure people could access this knowledge.
Yes, and that was key. To make this vital info accessible, he published dozens and dozens of bulletins for farmers.
Bulletins, like pamphlets.
Yeah, basically. These weren't dense academic papers. They were practical, hands-on guides designed to educate farmers directly on improved techniques and how to use the crops he was championing.
So empowering them directly with knowledge.
Exactly. Giving them the tools to improve their own lives.
And Carver's impact, it didn't go unnoticed, did it? He got significant recognition.
Oh, absolutely. He even briefly advised presidents, Theodore Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, on agricultural issues and racial matters, too.
That's quite the access.
And public honors started pouring in. He spoke before the House of Representatives. He was awarded the prestigious Spingarn Medal by the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, back in 1923.
That's a huge honor.
A major one.
Hmm.
Plus numerous honorary degrees, other accolades throughout his life. It sounds like he was really connected with some powerful people.
But what's maybe even more fascinating are his personal connections, beyond just politics or academia.
That's where his story gets even broader, you know. It's fascinating to look at his network. He was close friends with Henry Ford.
The Henry Ford. The car guy.
The very same. Ford apparently sought Carver's advice on practical farming, even on plant-based rubber alternatives. Shows you how his influence really extended into industry.
Wow. And anyone else surprising?
Well, get this. He also exchanged letters with Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhi. Really?
Yes, sharing insights on self-sufficiency, the power of nonviolent progress. It just highlights his truly global reach, the universal appeal of his philosophy.
That's incredible. And his legacy is definitely enshrined in institutions that continue today.
For sure. Most notably, the George Washington Carver National Monument, established in 1943 in Missouri.
And that was a landmark moment itself, wasn't it?
Huge. It was the very first national monument dedicated to an African American.
And his name lives on, of course. Schools, parks, research centers across the country are named in his honor.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to delve into his personal philosophy a bit more. He seemed to live by a very distinct set of principles. What defined his approach to life, to science?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think it's his personal philosophy that truly sets him apart. He was deeply religious, deeply spiritual.
Okay.
He genuinely believed his scientific inspiration came directly from God. And he lived this life of, well, remarkable humility and simplicity.
How so?
Famously turned down incredibly lucrative job offers from big industry. Think about that.
But why? Why turn down the money, the influence maybe?
Because he preferred to serve his community, his students, right there at Tuskegee. Now, for us today, you might wonder, could his impact have been even wider if he'd commercialized some of those 300 peanut products, for example?
That's a really interesting question. What do you think?
It is. And while he certainly could have amassed great personal wealth, Carver's deep belief seemed to be in empowering individual farmers directly, especially the impoverished ones.
Through education.
Exactly. He felt that knowledge and self-sufficiency spread through his bulletins and his hands-on teaching at Tuskegee. That was the most direct path to upliftment, more so than building some large industrial empire around his discoveries.
So democratizing knowledge, basically.
Precisely. This commitment really underscores his core beliefs: service, education, and what he saw as the intrinsic unity of science and spirituality.
He left us with some powerful words that really capture that spirit. He said, Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom.
A beautiful quote.
And another one that really embodies his focus on service. It is not the style of clothes one wears, neither the kind of automobile one drives, nor the amount of money he has in the bank that counts. These mean nothing. It is simply service that measures success.
Powerful words indeed. George Washington Carver passed away on January 5, 1943, in Tuskegee, Alabama. He was about 78 years old due to complications from a fall.
And he was laid to rest next to Booker T. Washington on the Tuskegee campus.
A fitting tribute, really, to a life dedicated to upliftment and progress.
So this deep dive has definitely shown us George Washington Carver was far, far more than just the peanut scientist caricature.
Oh, much more. A profound innovator, yes, but also an indefatigable educator, a true humanitarian. His work fundamentally transformed agriculture and empowered communities, not just in the American South, but really his ideas resonated beyond.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, maybe something for you listening to consider. How does Carver's dedication to service over personal gain and his belief in that unity of science and spirituality, how does that resonate today? In our world of rapid tech advancement, big resource challenges.
Yeah, what does it mean for you listening to measure success by service? Something to think about.